Hi guys, welcome back for another video. I'm Jess and I'm one of the creative designers here at Sizzix. Today I wanted to share with you a gorgeous scrapbooking make. So maybe you wanted to try something different, you've got all your bits, you've got your machine, and you usually make cards or things like that, and you want to try something new. I think scrapbooking is a great way to dip your toe in. It's still paper crafts, but it's just something a little bit different, and you can play around with different compositions and layouts, and you can include some personal memories as well. So this one here that I'm going to show you today is kind of like a beach themed, a bit more wintry, but obviously you can totally change it up with your own images and your own colour scheme and still keep that beach holiday theme, and you can make it a lot more summery depending on the time of year. But we've got loads of different techniques in here. We've got some embossing with some of our brand new embossing folders and our luster wax. I've got some distressing here with our multi-tool and the distress head. We've got some opulent cardstocks and some of our brand new floral dies as well, and then even some pattern paper in the background. So there's so much going on, but it's kind of really simple once you strip it all back, and you can have a lot of fun, I think, customizing it and trying something new for the new year using some of our brand new Chapter 1 2022 dies and embossing folders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see a little bit more in depth of what I'm doing, and don't forget to stay tuned until the end, and I will remind you guys of my discount code, which will give you some money off for everything I use in this video today. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to bring you down to my overhead camera and we'll get started. Okay guys, so to start off, you're going to want your base. So I've just got a plain white piece of card. This is slightly smaller than 12 by 12 inches, which is normally a scrapbook sized card, kind of to work off. But bear in mind, you can make it smaller if you want to. If you're only using one image, it's completely up to you, but you want a white base basically. And then we're going to bring in some of our neutral cardstock. So I'm using a kind of sand coloured neutral cardstock. So I'm going to put that down the bottom, and I'm going to put the whole sheet down. So obviously bear in mind, if you're using our Sizzix cardstock, it's A4 size, so you want to make sure that it covers your white cardstock, because we don't want to see this bit behind, we only want to see what's in front. So I'm going to line it up along the bottom and make sure it fits. Don't worry about this top bit, we're going to cover that in a second. And I'm going to use just one of our permanent adhesive rollers just to quickly stick this down, because I don't want to use glue, because you'll probably be able to see some of the glue and where it's dried. So this way it's quite easy to get a sticky layer down quickly without any mess basically. Okay, if you do like have a bit hanging over or something like that, don't worry, you can trim it off after. So the next step is you want to take a piece of white cardstock and you want to take a piece of patterned cardstock. Now I'm using our Sizzix pattern paper pack because I can use pretty much any colour, so my front cover is actually coming off, but all double-sided cardstock, so all the patterns are double-sided and the colours are obviously double-sided, and you get, say, one pattern on one side and a pattern on the other side that's different, so you can pick whichever pattern or colour works for you. So say I was going to pick one here, so I'm going to use that as well. Okay, and we want to create a kind of wave effect from these two pieces of cardstock. So I'm just going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw. So bear in mind, you're still sticking to the A4 kind of lengthways, and we're going to measure it up to the white background as well. I'm going to roughly go along there, okay? And then you want to cut along that, so just using any scissors, and this is going to act as a wave, so the water on our beach. So this bit here with the neutral kind of brown sand colour is going to be obviously our sand, and then this bit is going to be our wave, okay? So I'm going to cover that up as well. So we're going to add a section in the middle that is going to be white cardstock. So again, I'm going to pop that underneath like so, measuring everything up, and then I'm going to kind of draw a little bit more of a wave effect, because this is going to be like the foam almost. Okay, and then I'm going to trim along that. So once you have those all cut out, you're going to have something that looks like that. So it all should measure up nicely, and like I say, you can always trim sections down afterwards. Don't worry too much, okay, if you've got a paper trimmer on hand. So you can see it kind of coming together already. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to emboss this section here. So I'm going to use, let me check that I've got the name correct. It is one of our new embossing folders, and this one is Geometric Flowers. So hopefully you can see the design on there, and this is going to emboss that section. So don't worry about embossing the section that's going to be covered by your pattern paper, okay? You just want to literally do this edge bit. So what I would do is I'd pop that through my machine, and if you feel like you need to make it smaller to fit a smaller machine, because bear in mind this might not go through widthways through an A4 machine. So if I just grab my plates in my machine, so if this is the size of your machine, so this is from our big shot or our fold away or something like that, you might want to trim it down slightly. So you could trim off that section or make your wave slightly smaller to make it fit. So basically you want your cardstock to be that width. But if you're using an A4 machine, then that's not an issue. You can fit this through no problem. And all I would do is I'd do one section, roll it through your machine, and then literally like you could just go through however you want, whether you're going to do it like that, because they would pretty much meet in the middle. And don't worry about where the join is when you emboss them, because it's quite a busy pattern anyway, and we're going to create the texture of waves, so it doesn't matter too much if it's not perfect. So I've done one beforehand just to show you, and that looks something like this, okay? So as you can see, I haven't embossed this section, I've just embossed this bit here, and then that is going to sit neatly behind there. I've actually got one that I've cut beforehand, because obviously I measured that along with the piece that I've just cut. So this one here should measure and fit perfectly with these two. So these two I've cut out before, so you can see you can have more of the blue shade over the sand colour, and then we make sure that we've got this white section embossed, okay? So what I'm going to do with this section here, I'm actually going to add some luster wax to it. So I'm going to move my background out of the way for a quick second, and I'm going to add some silver luster wax. So this is part of our effects range. It's kind of been around for a little bit now, but it's an amazing product. It's really nice to pick up the highlights of an emboss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it on my finger and just take off the excess and just rub it over the design, and it's just going to slightly pick up those elements. So obviously bear in mind you're only going to see that top section, so don't worry about doing this bit down here. just get that top section and make sure it's covered with that luster wax. So again, taking off that excess, and you can then just pick up from here instead of going into the pot over and over again, if that makes it a little bit easier for you. And you could do this in any of the colours that we have. So we have gold and rose gold coloured luster waxes, and you could use any of them, whether you're going for like a gold theme or a rose gold theme, or I'm going for silver, so it's completely up to you. Okay. Okay, I think hopefully that is all covered for the sections that I can see. And then I'm just going to move that to one side. I'm just going to wipe off my finger just using a wipe. That's the great thing about these luster waxes, guys. They're really sturdy and they stay put, but to get them off your skin or something like that, you just want to use like an alcohol wipe or something like that, and it comes straight off. Okay. And then I'm just going to finally do one more thing to this one, and I'm going to use our multi-tool with the distress head. So when you buy the multi-tool, it actually comes with the craft knife and the distress head. And this is a great way to use it. So I'm going to distress both of these pieces here, and lightly you can see that there's like blades in between each section, and you just want to take it and rub it along, and it just will distress that edge and hopefully make it look more like water. Now, obviously, you can do it as much or as little as you want. You don't even have to do this step if you don't want to, but it kind of gives you a ripped effect. So if you've torn it with your hands, but more precise, so you can cut it first and then distress it afterwards, and it makes it look organic, but still have the shape that you want, which is always nice. So I'm not going to do it too much on this white bit because I have got the emboss on there, but then I'm going to do a little bit more on this section. So again, just popping it in between those blade sections and just running it along. Just be careful of your fingers, obviously, and you can really have a lot of fun just kind of distressing that edge as much or as little as you want. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. I don't want it too much, but just enough. And then I can start building on to that background that we put that sand colour on. So obviously first I'm going to put down my wave or froth. I'm just going to locate my adhesive roller. There we go. Just run that along. You could use glue on this one because we have got a little bit more texture going on, so it's going to be easier to add glue underneath and not see it. Could even use foam tape if you wanted to as well. That would hide some of it. So I just want to make sure that I'm putting everything in the right place. So just measuring it up. I might have to trim a little bit off actually once I've stuck that down. Okay, so we've got that section down, and then this bit here. I love using this permanent adhesive roller because it's so quick and easy. And then just place that one over the top. So what I think I'll do, I'll just quickly trim down this section just so I can get rid of that little overhang there, and then we'll add some more stuff. Okay, so I've trimmed that off and we've got our base. So now I can start to add my images and everything like that. So mine is obviously going to be about a beach or a beach walk. So I've got 3 images that I've taken from a lovely beach day out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to arrange them how I want them. I've got foam tape on the back already, and it's just a shout out to a lovely beach walk that I had sort of over Christmas and New Year while I was visiting family up in Scotland, and that is myself and my little dog, and then one of my family members' dogs, Maggie, and she's met some a lovely little husky on the beach as well, and I just loved these images, so I wanted to use those. So I'm going to arrange them how I want them. So I'm going to stick those down, I think, first. So I've actually used foam tape to do these just because I like that they're slightly raised. It's around about here. And you could go for one large image as well if you wanted to, rather than 3 smaller ones. I think I'm going to pop that one up there. I keep changing my mind as I do it, guys. Yep. And then last one. Mine's going to be quite a cold winter walk vibe, but obviously beach days and beach walks, they could be really nice and summery depending on what images you use and colours and things like that. So don't feel restricted to what I've done. Okay, so we've got that now, and then I think I'm going to pop on my title to my page next. So I've got the spring type die from chapter 1 as well. This one's a really nice large alphabet die. You get so much in here, guys, and it has like a really gorgeous emboss line on every single one of the letters, which is really, really nice. So I've got all mine cut out, and I'm going to place those where I want them. So mine's just going to say beach walk, but yours could say anything. It could say the place name of where you've been. You could put a date on there. So I'm just going to pop mine along here. And what I've done is I've actually stuck some Sizzix adhesive sheets. So just these Sizzix adhesive sheet. My packaging is a bit, there you go, on the back of some silver opulent cardstock before I cut it out, which meant that I can just peel the backing off and stick it down. Can be a bit fiddly, but it's a lot easier and more mess free than using glue. So again, I'm doing mine in silver, but you could do yours in gold or rose gold, or even like an opulent ivory or the charcoal. So we have like the 5 different kinds of opulent that could work for this. So that is completely up to you, again, depending on what vibe you go for. But obviously if you choose gold lettering, I would add gold to that emboss section as well. Again, I am doing this upside down as well, guys, so I'm sorry if it's not perfect and really aligned. I'm trying my best. Okay. And I think it's really nice to commemorate and sort of scrapbook any kind of nice event or day out or anything. Like, I think sometimes we think we've got to do something really momentous, like a holiday, like a whole holiday or a wedding or something like that, but I think just the small things sometimes are just as nice to sort of craft about and focus on. So now we've got our title, we can start to add a little bit more to it. So I'm going to use another die from chapter 1, and this one is Floral Contours. Now this one is really nice because you get these big pieces and then you can add on top, okay, which is really nice because it makes it super easy to build up a floral bouquet almost. So I've got some of the smaller ones which I've done here, and I'm going to kind of place these around each image, and then I've got a bigger one which I'm going to place down the bottom here. So as you can see, that's how the bottom piece cuts out. So I've cut that out from green, and then you can start to build the flowers on top. So if I just move this to one side while we build one of these ones up. So I've got this one here, and then I've got the 3 flowers cut out. So you literally just want to take your glue and stick them down. Now you could sculpt these with our paper sculpting kit if you wanted to as well. That's completely fine to do. And then you just want to kind of measure it up and see where it fits and matches with that base layer. So there we've got one, and I'm going to stick this one down here. And you could sculpt each individual flower or sculpt the whole thing once you're done. I'm going to keep mine relatively flat, but again, have some fun playing around with it, I think, and seeing what you prefer. And then last one. This one's really nice because it has all those fine cuts in it, so it really stands out, I think. And I think that one goes like that. Again, trying to do things upside down does fail me sometimes. Okay, so there we go. And then last but not least, I'm going to add some sequins. So these are our new neutral sequins and beads, and there's also neutral glitters and neutral embossing powders as well. So you've got tones of like greys, silvers and whites in there, and I'm going to use the white sequins, and I'm literally just going to use them as flower centers. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue there. And then one more on that other hole, just with a little bit of glue. Ooh. There we go. And now I can add those to my page where I want them. So what I've done with these ones is I've actually double layered some foam tape because I wanted it higher than the images. So I've just stuck 2 pieces on top of one another. And it makes it nice and easy, so hopefully you can see there I've got 2 layers. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to put that one there or down here. I might put it up here actually. There we go. And then last but not least, the one that I've just done. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of foam tape on the back, and then I'm going to peel that off and then get another section. like so. And you could even take these little foliage pieces, and if you haven't sculpted it before, you can just take them in your hands and just give them a little bit of a bend. And I'm going to put that along there like so. And I've just got one more that I cut previously, and all I've done is I measured it against one of the letters and then I cut into it so you could just see a section of it kind of peeking out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place that there, and that just shows that you can use them separately as well, and then you do get those little foliage elements. And then if you really wanted to, you could go in with the sequins and you could add little dots here, there and everywhere with the sequins, just to add some little extra elements. I do that quite a lot with sequins, but for time's sake today, I think I'm going to leave it as it is. And there you have it, guys, a gorgeous scrapbook page, perfect for showing off beach walks, holidays, beach days, anything like that. And you can change up the colours depending on what your colour scheme is. So obviously change up the silver, or you can change up the colours on the flowers quite easily, where I've stuck to our neutral cardstock packs and our regular cardstock packs, so creams, yellows and blues. You could completely change up to match your images. So just pick out the colours in your images that you're going to use and highlight them in your flowers and things like that. But I didn't want to overwhelm it too much. I wanted to keep it relatively simple and just kind of make sure you're focusing on your images mainly and having a lot of fun with that background, with the embossing and the distressing along those edges as well. So there you have it, guys. So I'll just bring my camera back up to say goodbye, and we're all good. There you have it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today and following along on how to make this scrapbook page. Like I've said at the beginning and throughout, you can totally change it up with obviously your own images, and you can change the colour scheme, and depending on the season or the colours in your images, you can pick those out with your flowers, and you can have a lot of fun, I think, changing it up, making something different that is still paper crafts but not a card, and having a lot of fun with your own layout and using some of those techniques that I've shown you in the background. If you are interested in getting your hands on any of the dies that I've used today, or any of the other materials or the cardstock, anything like that, definitely head on over to the Sizzix website, and it all will be on there. But don't forget to use my discount code Jess20, and that'll give you some money off of everything that I've used today. And there's some really good goodies, from brand new stuff to some of the tried and trusted bits that we've had on our website for a while, like our pattern paper and our luster wax, that just work perfectly, and you can reuse those for so many different makes. And obviously you can change it up with your colours, so you could pick a gold opulent and a gold luster wax and go down a little bit more summery route if you wanted to. But if you do create your own scrapbook page, whether it is a beach theme and it's exactly like mine, or it's a little bit different, I would love to see it. So please leave me an image and a comment down below and use the hashtag #mymakingstory. And that way we can all share our memories and our scrapbook pages together, and just bring a little light into our new 2022 year. So I think that's everything from me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed following along. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you in the next one, but until then, stay safe and keep crafting. Thanks, bye.